So, a wonderful good afternoon, dear LinkedIn community and Composites experts. This is our LinkedIn Live with Composites launch, and we are talking today about JEC World 2024. We means I have a lot of guests here today, which I'm seeing already down below, and I will call each one of them right after our introduction. So with me today is also Oliver. Oliver is today the engagement officer. Hi, Oliver.
Hello. Also from my side, a warm welcome. I'm happy to be your co-moderator and I look forward for exciting discussions.
Absolutely, and we have great people here today, and we have two rounds actually. So we will be talking with you guys 1.5 hours maximum. So we are really going over and above the average, which is 1 hour. Today will be 1.5 hours, but we thought we will use this time. It's only 4 weeks left to JEC World 2024, which will be the largest expo in composites ever. And I really appreciate the work that the JEC Group is doing. And we have also a representative, the show director, Thomas Lepretre here. He will be our first guest. And yeah, let me tell you about some housekeeping rules. This is a LinkedIn Live, and LinkedIn Live means we can interact with the community. So please, as a start, write down in the comments from where are you tuning in today. Our reach goes today around the globe. We have Ellen Harper from Bangkok here. We have Brussels here. We have the UK here. We have, of course, Germany, Switzerland, Austria here. So a wide reach, and we would love to hear from where are you tuning in. Also, write down, can you hear us good? Can you see us good? Because this is a LinkedIn Live, and this is a technical construct. And anytime it can happen that things go wrong with a technical thing. We are streaming live also on YouTube. So we are greeting our YouTube guests right now. And I'm sure we will have also a great exposure on YouTube. We are also parallel on Facebook and Twitch and X, formerly Twitter, right now. And also, we will be having this live soon as a podcast on our Composites launch. So, Oliver, do you want to add something to this before
Yeah,
we
I have
start rolling?
yeah, I have greetings from Sao Paulo, Brazil, from Andre, and also
Okay, Andre.
Stefan Fleischmann. A lot of people are in the show, and I'm sure they are coming much more. And I'm happy to start now. Let's go on.
Yes. Wahnsinn. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, great. So I'm taking now Thomas into the picture. Thomas Lepretre, I hope I pronounce it the right way. Thomas,
That's
welcome
good,
to
Ilkay.
our show.
Thank you, Ilkay. Thank you for organizing all this and having me here today.
Absolutely, absolutely my pleasure. So let me change the logo. Yeah, as our first guest, Thomas, of course, we would like to know about JEC World, what's going on, and the insights. And the reason we want to do this is because we want to give the viewers a little participation or orientation.
Okay. Well, it's going to be a very exciting JEC World. As you noticed, it's going to be the largest JEC World ever. So we have experienced a very, very significant growth compared to 2023, which will result in a show that offers even more possibilities, even more solutions to the industry. That growth is coming from a combination of factors. First one is that despite all the economic challenges that we had in the past years, the industry is growing, reaching $41 billion of value in 2023, with growth from existing application markets, growth in the replacement of metal and traditional materials by composites, and new composite application. First thing. Second thing is that the comeback of Asian companies that started in 2023 is now complete. So we will welcome 250 companies coming from Asia. So this is really significant. And the last reason is that the performance of the event in 2023 was outstanding. So the satisfaction survey results were to the roof. So we have used this to leverage new arguments and to welcome 140 new companies to JEC World in the next 4 weeks. So we want to tell our exhibitors and our visitors that they will be able to network and to learn on the product offerings and the solutions from 140 new companies at the show.
So you guys, you're doing really well, and I'm so sure that right now you are all under a certain stress level. Is that correct? Give us some insights. How does it work? How do you keep your team engaged in these times?
Well, I used to say that working in the events industry is 11 months of planning and 1 month of rechanging the whole planning. So we are just into that phase right now. We are really working on the last details, but the bulk of the show and the bulk of the production is already done. So we'll be on time, on delivery, no problem on that. So we're really looking forward to actually being on the first day of the event and welcoming everyone into the exhibition halls.
Okay, wonderful. So because we are here on an international level, Thomas, and as you can see, international means also the globe around us. And we have now people from Brazil joining us. We have people from Bangkok joining us. This internationalization is, of course, a great way, and it's also called JEC World. That represents the internationalization. But as far as I know JEC, and I know JEC for many, many years, I haven't counted how many times I've been to JEC, but possibly 10 times, 15 times already. There's always this international connotation to it. And I would like to know, are there any specific countries that you want to highlight this year? And how will you do that?
Sure. In 24, we will reconduct our country on stage program, which means that we will have 3 different countries, 1 per day, taking the stage for an hour to present what's going on their local market in terms of market trends, capabilities, innovations, research topics, and stuff like that. So we will have 3 new countries on stage in 24. So that will be Belgium, Italy, and France, and they will introduce and let us know everything about what's going on in that country and what are the market specifics and so on.
Okay, so that's a key focus, and some of the countries you've mentioned they are also here in our warm-ups. So I'm really grateful for that, and we'll be in the warm-up also next week. Please save the date. Next Friday will be a second round of this warm-up session. So what I'm fascinated about, Thomas, are your stages at the JEC. Now, I've browsed through the JEC agenda, the 3 days, which is the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th of March, and I've seen the stage performances.
Right.
What are the highlights of the stage performances? What would you think would be particularly useful for our guests, our viewers today?
Well, it will be a little more than just the 3 days of the stage, because we are incorporating some new programs in and around the event. So the content of the event will start on Monday, where we will hold a specific event sponsored by Owens Corning dedicated to construction, architecture, and civil engineering. The whole purpose of that event is to show architects, designers, and construction companies what composite materials can bring them and how it can help to do better buildings, better structures, and also how we can help them in reaching a lower carbon footprint. So that will be on Monday. Then on Tuesday, from Tuesday to Thursday, the real show schedule will begin. And then we will have as well conferences that are free to access for all exhibitors and all visitors. The key points will be 4 sessions on sustainability, which is the main topic of the industry. So we go from a range of subjects from biosource materials and natural fiber to Industry 4.0, automatization, digitalization, and how they can help reduce the waste and the carbon footprints of the part production process. So that will be one of the key things. Then we will have some end user markets conferences, 3 of them, one on transportation and how composites are shaping a more sustainable transportation. Second one will be on aerospace, how composites support the new aircraft programs. And we will have some end users talk about talk about their fly net zero strategy and present their new programs. Last one will be on wind energy as well. What is the sustainability pathway in the wind energy? So that will be the content. Also, for the first time in 2024, we will have a live demonstration area on the show floor in Hall 6, where our attendants will be able to see more than 20 live demonstrations, so 20 demonstrations of how to make a part that will be done in the Hall 6. This is being done and thanks to the sponsorship of 3 companies, Magnum Venus Products, Aerovac Composite One, and Thermwood, and the participation of Rocktool. So each of the company will do several presentations on 30 minutes with different processes and different materials to let us know how their products are helping in manufacturing better parts. So we'll see large-scale additive manufacturing, vacuum infusion, compression molding of thermoplastics, in injection and RTM as well. We'll see a lot of stuff. So we are really looking forward to having that demo zone. That's a part of the challenge of the last month before the event.
Okay, wonderful. But I see everything is under control. So time is running, Thomas. Maybe my last question is, which impulses are you expecting from JEC World before we move on to Gunnar?
Okay. Well, impulse for me is very simple. We have a lot of customers that say, if JEC is good, the whole year is going to be good for the industry. So that's really what we want to get out of the venue with, let's say, a dynamic, forward-thinking spirit at the event to see what our composites going to do in the next years. That's really what we want to do. One last thing I would like to mention is that the show is going to be massive. So if I can give you a tip, is to really prepare for it, sort out the companies that you want to meet. You can get in touch with our teams. We are here to help newcomers get the most of their JEC World experience. So feel free to reach out to our teams and we'll be here to support you.
Okay, maybe one final thing. You have launched a new app. Can you explain how the app can help orientate on the show floor?
Well, we have launched 2 new apps. First one is about the show. Second one is about the JEC Composites magazine. So a few words on the one on the show. Basically, it will help you orientate, consult all the schedule, consult all of the companies, get in touch with the companies and so on. So it's really a tool to have in his pocket to not get lost. Make sure you contact the right company and you are able to sort everything out. If you are looking for very specific activity, you can find that on the app.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Thomas, and I wish you all the best. And au revoir for now. See you in Paris.
Merci, Ilkay. See you soon.
Okay, bye. So, Gunnar, also going back to English. Now, when I see Gunnar, I thought I speak in German, but we want to speak, of course, international and stay with English language. So let me change the logo because Gunnar, he's the managing director of Composites United, the largest association here in the German-speaking countries, but very internationally minded, of course, also. Yeah, Gunnar, I had the honor and pleasure to have you several times on our show already, but today I have a personal question to you because I'm trying to make sense about your career in the composites industry. Tell us your personal background. What happened in the past and how did you reach to that point to come to Composites United? Very fast. You are muted.
Maybe
okay, you're free now.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ilkay. A warm hello from Hamburg in Germany. Originally, I'm a chemist and worked for more than 20 years in chemical industry in various positions. I was a representative of my company as a member in CFK Valley from 2008 to 2013. In 2014, I was asked to take over the network as a CEO and manage CFK Valley entrepreneurial with a strong focus on internationalization. With the merger now of CFK Valley and Carbon Composites to Composites United, I see my task fulfilled, and I plan to leave Composites United after JEC, and I would like to go back to industry.
Okay, so that's a bit of a background story from Gunnar. So which mega trends do you see in the upcoming years, and which role does they play in your network? Because you have a large network, Gunnar.
Yeah, sure. I think our environment is changing significantly and faster than before, so we have to adapt. And we think that topics like climate protection, the Green Deal of the European Union, circular economy, and resilience are the main topics. Composites are enablers to fulfill the goals of the European Green Deal. To give you an example, 70% of the green gas emissions are related to usage of fossil resources. So energy transformation to renewable sources, so going back from oil and gas and those things, are the key with a big impact. And wind energy and green hydrogen technology needs to be supported. There will be no rotor blade or hydrogen tank without composites, and that shows the importance. A further trend I see is the usage of composite in construction. So bridge repair is a big topic, and using carbon concrete is a big topic, because carbon concrete would need less concrete compared to steel, for example. And less concrete means, of course, also less carbon dioxide. We as Composites United are facing these trends. We have work groups for hydrogen application. We have work groups for sustainability. And there is a cluster in place, Composites United Bau, which is dealing especially with construction issues.
And we have some construction people also listening to us. I know Roy. Roy is one of your managing directors in the construction side and is working in that group. Thanks, Roy, for joining us. We have many more people joining us right now, and I'm greeting really over 600 live viewers right now. So this is a massive reach today. Thank you so much. And we will come back to all your questions and all your comments in a moment. So, Gunnar, you have one, or if not the largest booth at JEC. Last year, I've seen so many of your members have been exhibiting on your booth. Which impulses would you then expect from JEC World with that massive setup?
Yeah, so basically we will be at the same place, Ilkay. So when you remember in Hall 6, you can visit us again. It will be same place, nearly same size. And we as a network, we have a common booth just to provide service to our members so that they can exchange with their customers and also get new contacts. From JEC 2024, I was hoping a little bit to get some impulses in the direction of sports, because Paris is the Olympic City 2024. So I'm very curious what I can see there. In 2025, we have the wish as Composites United, and especially I think also Roy, who is with us from Composites United Bau, that construction will be a main topic.
Yeah, construction is of course a massive market, and I really fear, and I have to say fear, once composites are a construction approved materials. I mean, in certain places it is already approved, but if it's generally approved, then will there be enough supply? I'm wondering. But anyways, we will tackle that once that's free. Gunnar, my last question to you is: after this LinkedIn Live, after this interview, what should the people do? What is your call to action? The one thing you would ask them to do?
Yeah, I would say make use of JEC as the forum to meet all our customers, friends, and all people who are related with composite technology. This is the unique chance once a year. So make use of the app, make contacts, talk with the people, try to work together. Networking is very important. And finally, also have some fun together in Paris.
So that's great. Absolutely right. So we have Gunnar one more time here. So Gunnar, thank you for your time. It's a very fast one this time, but we will have plenty of time to have more exchange in the future. And I'm really happy that you are supporting this warm up, this LinkedIn Live. All the best for Composites United, all the members, and I'm looking forward to see them in Paris. Thank you so much.
See you all. Thank you.
Right, and now we are going further along the program. We are already late by 5 minutes, but one thing's come after the other into my mind, and we have another association right now, and I'm calling Volker Mathes of EuCia. Hello, Volker. How are you doing?
Hello, Ilka. I'm doing very fine. Thank you very much. Hello, community. I hope you are doing well as well.
So we can hear you, we can see you nicely, Volker. And same question applies to you. I've met you, I think the first time I realized met you in person, that was in Augsburg, if I'm not wrong, at the JEC Forum Dach, the Augsburg edition, where we had this evening dinner and we had a cigarette outside. Is that right?
That's completely right, yes. It's not the healthiest way of meeting, but we had.
Yeah, but since then, just for your information, I quit smoking, and I ask everyone to quit smoking. It's not a good thing to do. Anyway, that's a private question. But my other private question is, how did you come to composites industry? What's your background?
Yeah, so we met first in Augsburg, but I'm with the composites industry already since many years. So my career started when I studied at the RWTH in Aachen. Then I switched to TÜV Rheinland in several different positions, ended up there as a product manager for international business development in the automotive sector. And already in 2009, I came to the EuCia. And still as of today, I have the same, let's say, work to do there. I'm, let's say, the technical expert for the EuCia in the field of composites, meaning I'm writing most of the press articles for the EuCia. And I'm doing market research. I'm one of the authors of the annual composites market report we are publishing at the EuCia. And that's the main focus I'm doing.
So community, you see, we have really high caliber experts here from the composites industry, like Volker. And please, Volker, give our regards, extend our regards to Elmar and Michael, which have today other commitments, but I'm sure we will meet each other again in Paris. So also the same question to you: which mega trends do you see in the upcoming years in composites, and can you relate them to your members, to your network?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm totally online, let's say, with Gunnar, what he already said. The one mega trend which affects like every industry or also the social area is sustainability of our material, but also becoming a, let's say, environmental friendly production area. We have this topic since many years at the EuCia. Our first expert task force started already 10 years ago. And meanwhile, we are also active in the EuCia. So on the European level, we will have Raphael later, who will explain this as well, I think. And the other big mega trend, which we see affects lots of our industries, is digitalization. On the one hand, it's very important when it comes to process technologies themselves, but also when you look at new applications and new possibilities. So for me, sustainability and digitalization are the two mega trends which affected our industry the most, or will affect our industry the most in the couple of upcoming months and years.
Yes. So you're following closely these trends as EuCia. That's very clear. And now the economy, Volker, is tackling huge challenges right now. We are not really over the hill. Now we had this lockdown, then we had the supply issues. Now inflation came up. Lots of industry challenges. Yeah. What is the sentiment in German? We say Stimmung to this, the atmosphere inside the composites industry at this time. How would you describe it?
Yeah, so the market environmental is very challenging. I think most of the community knows this. I think all the people here being today know that. For us, it's difficult, let's say. So we had the Corona crisis with all its negative impacts. Then the industry was coming up, and now we see a decline coming up for last year. It's a little different when you talk to raw material suppliers, for example, or for producers. But the two most important industry for us, for the glass fiber industry, is the construction sector, infrastructure, and the mobility sector. When you have a look at your new car registrations, for example, you will see that they are still down. So we have not reached pre-corona level already. On the other hand, we see the construction industry struggling very hard. What we see is in this area that we have still a good market, but we see no new markets coming up in this area. So we as AVK expect that we will have a market decline in the last year of about 5 to 10%, which is totally in line, let's say, with the general economic development, which we see in Germany, especially in the last year or last 2 years, but also in whole Europe. So for our network, this means I think from my point of view, we have to keep the head high at the moment. It's not easy. It's not self-running. It's difficult. But I think composites have a unique material properties, which will make them the material for the future as well.
I would add to this. So there are challenging times. Yes, agreed. But the more important it is that we stick to the triad: innovation, technology, and sustainability, and then we will be ahead of the game. Thank you so much, Volker, for the insights. And my greetings to Elmar one more time and to Michael. And I'm greeting now. Next in line is David from the UK. So I met David at the ICS, International Composites Summit. That was, I assume now, 2 years ago. We had also a great interview at the ICS. And yeah, David is really an expert also in aviation, which of course brings my heart rate higher, because also I'm an enthusiast, as you see the other side with the planes. I got a lot of plane models here, David, but that would be a whole different other LinkedIn Live for this. Yeah, thanks for joining our show.
Thank you for having me, EuCia. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, UK is an important part, and you have also this pavilion at JEC, and it makes absolutely sense to have you also in this warm up, because you have really a lot of members at your pavilion. But David, let me also ask you, how did you come to composites industry?
So, EuCia, I started my career as an engineering apprentice in the aerospace sector on wing manufacture with Airbus in the UK. I then moved into aircraft engines and completed a PhD in aerodynamics with Rolls-Royce, before then moving into the energy sector with Alstom, where I led many European collaborative research and technology projects. The first trade association that I led was the Northwest Aerospace Alliance, where I was chief executive up to 2020. And then I joined Composites UK as chief executive. And of course, that's the trade association for the UK's composites industry, with over 380 fee-paying members and a combined turnover of £12.3 billion and employing over 48,000 highly skilled people across aerospace, automotive, construction, defence, energy and marine sectors.
So thanks for these insights about your development in this industry. I find it always fascinating how people come to this industry, and we will have more inspiring stories coming up soon. David, what Volker said before was, of course, from a German lens, the sentiment here over in Germany. How would you compare it in the UK? Do you have similar things? Do you have other priorities right now? How is the economy doing over there for composites?
Well, we've got a few challenges in the UK, EuCia, and some of those we've imposed on ourselves. I'm not going to bore you with Brexit, but many of the challenges we face are really global challenges. And whilst we've seen improvements in global supply chain disruptions, we've seen significant increases in input costs, whether that's labour, energy, raw materials. Inflation's hard since the start of the year, but that means that prices continue to rise, just not at the rates we've seen previously. We've also seen rapid acceleration towards digital transformation and sustainability, including the need for circularity in the composite sector. But the biggest challenge we currently face is the skills gaps we have in the UK. In my personal opinion, UK PLC is going to continue to struggle to achieve the productivity targets of the UK government until we invest massively in bringing new talent into our industries and, importantly, upskilling our existing workforce.
Yeah, recruiting, talent shortages, also topics that are hot topics here over in Germany. And yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the expert to give you advice on this one. But again, I would say innovation-driven companies typically have it a little easier to attract talent. But that's a whole different story. Anyways, now you... Yeah.
Sorry, the challenges bring opportunities. You know, the composite sector is key to more efficient transportation, whether that's air or land. They're key to transition to sustainable energy vectors, wind, hydrogen, nuclear, and to increasing our defence resilience. So the composite sector can really support our powerhouse industries of aerospace, automotive, defence, and energy, and help us all stay relevant and competitive.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Exactly. The defense, now we are seeing a lot of fires around the world. Defense is already now moving up. If you asked me 2 or 3 years ago to talk about defense publicly, I would say, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. But today, I think we must talk about defense, and we must bring our composites skills and resources into the defense, because we are seeing some crazy developments out there, and they should know that we are in control. Anyways, thank you so much about this impulse. My last question to you, David, is tell us about the UK pavilion. How did you organize it? Why did you organize it? And what do you expect from it?
So Composites UK is delighted to be hosting the UK pavilion again at JEC World 2024, which I point out we received no UK government financial support for. So it's a great achievement of the Composites UK team to deliver such an invaluable opportunity for the UK composites ecosystem to display their fantastic capabilities on the world stage. We'll have over 20 members of Composites UK, including our prestigious research and development centres, the National Composites Centre, the Royce Institute for Advanced Materials, TWI and SimCom, and they'll be supported by a wealth of industry capability with companies such as Loop Technology, Hive Composites, V-Carbon and Pliable. And whilst I'm sure our members will be focused on developing their brands and winning new business, the Composites UK team will take the opportunity to work with our European and American partners to discuss opportunities for cooperation, especially around sustainability, recycling and circularity.
Wonderful. Looking very much forward, and I will, of course, also pass by your booth, David, and shake hands with you guys.
Please do. Okay, we're in Hall 6, stand S62 and T62. We'll be very, very happy to host you there.
Yeah, that's a good point, by the way. Please, everyone who is now exhibitor and has a booth at JEC World, please write it in the comments, but not here in StreamYard in the private chat. Please write it in LinkedIn so that your customers and the audience gets notified about it. David, thank you so much for taking this time, and we move on now in the first round to the European level. Now we've covered Germany. We have covered the UK, and now we are going European. Now we have Raphael Pleynet. Raphael, I've met Raphael in Bologna last year. That was a fantastic opportunity, JEC Forum Italy. So a very nice kickoff of the Composites show as such again. And who's interested, I made a very detailed video with Raphael there. Raphael, thanks for joining us about the JEC World warm-up. And I'm seeing you have also a booth, of course, at JEC World. And you have cooperations with the JEC Group, which we will come shortly to it. But Raphael, personal question, what's your background? How did you come to Composites?
Good afternoon, Ilkay, and good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for the question. I graduated from a business school. I'm French. And I enter in the composite world through the reinforcement side. So I evaluated for many years in technical textile reinforcements, different executive roles. And over the last 10 years, I also been involved on different trade associations role, which I realized personally that we can have some goals, but we are going better and fast. Not always faster, but when we create a community of common interest, that's the way we can have a better way to achieve our goals. So the link here is that, first of all, I started to be involved in TechFab Europe, which is the association of the technical textiles at the European level. I was the president, and today I'm the Secretary General. And 2 years ago, I've been approached by EuCia to take the role of managing director. Maybe I can just explain EuCia. EuCia stands for European Composite Industry Association. And as you just introduced, UK, Germany, and many countries are represented at EuCia level. We have different national composite associations, plus sector groups as well, composed by EuCia. So altogether, national association and the industry, we make the voice of the composite industry toward the authorities and, generally speaking, outside of our environment.
Okay. The trends on the European level, do you see it similar to what Gunnar and Volker said from the German lens and obviously David from the UK lens, or would you say Europe has its particular priorities and beliefs in the market?
No, I think we, again, as we are composed by different associations, this is a chance to hear also what's going on in different countries. And when today we look at our priorities and what we see as a long-term trend, sustainability is there. You know, you were talking about defense just a few minutes ago. I will not disclose, but we had recently a discussion with some defense stakeholders saying, we need to understand your sustainability approach because we are convinced that an efficient supply chain is a sustainable supply chain. You know, I was wondering at the beginning, how can these people are interested by a sustainability approach, but it's really an efficiency approach. So that's just to illustrate, but sustainability is not anymore a long-term target, this reality. And we are right now in transition. So we see, of course, the Commission putting some directives, sometimes some project of regulations. It's to stimulate the market. And at the same time, they are also putting some instruments to help the industries and all the stakeholders to the transition. It's a challenge, you know, but it's also a lot of opportunities. And at EuCia, we are here to do this also link with the authorities to say, okay, this is realistic, or this one is a little bit challenging, can you adapt, and so on. So we have these discussions. But circularity is, of course, the priority at the moment. We see it at different level. For example, EuCia anticipated it already almost 10 years ago. We developed a tool to explain what LCA means. So from cradle to gate, today you can easily, in 5 minutes for free, access to a tool like that, just to have the CO2 footprint of your composite part. That was a role how to educate. We also, you were talking about, I think it was David, the difficulty to recruit talent. And it's also something a priority at EuCia. We would like to link universities program with industry needs. So we have different initiatives. Coming back to today, the composite also has a challenge in front of us is the end of use of the material. What can you do when you have your blade, which is 25 years old? And we demonstrate that there is a lot of technologies ready at the moment, but just there is a challenge how to go from the end of use of the material to the recyclers. So we are also here working across different alliances to also set up here the right ecosystem. And that's, I would say, so the mega trend is really around sustainability.
Okay, wonderful. So we're talking about warming up the JEC, Raphael, and you are in a cooperation with the JEC Group. Can you tell us about the joint project that you started with the JEC Group?
Sure. It becomes an evidence because I think the JEC Group mindset and EuCia, we share the same vision and the same passion for composite material. Because the first thing is that we see composite material have another tremendous potential of growth. And I would like to share it as a hope. Yes, today there is difficulties on different markets, but there is also a great hope. Earlier this week, we had our board of directors meeting and to look at our roadmap, which we are at the moment finalizing. And we said, composite material can save the world. That's it's just to demonstrate that thanks to composite material, you can reach a better world with, for example, renewable energies and different materials, lightweight materials. Coming back to JEC is sharing, of course, the same vision, and we have complementarity in terms of knowledge and in terms of network. And we decided to work together how to go even faster to some directions. And I will let JEC to disclose some new initiatives. But Thomas was speaking about construction. Just to tell you, over the last 12 years, EuCia did work on what will become one day a Eurocode using composite design in construction. And at this stage, it's a technical specification, which is now approved by the CN committee, and EuCia is really involved on all these things. So that's this type of things where we anticipate the trend, and we also help with the different committees to really develop the right norms and environment. So JEC is a catalyst, and again, we share the same vision. So that's a natural cooperation and a great one.
Absolutely. So, Raphael, thank you so much for these insights. Your booth is 6P, like Paula 120, if I'm not mistaken. And so you are okay for the community to approach you right now on the JEC World, right?
Absolutely. Everyone is very welcome on our booth during the next 3 days at JEC. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Pleasure.
So thank you so much, Raphael. And I've inquired, by the way, also Roberto Frassine, who is your chairman at EuCia, and would you also say chairman of ASO Composite, right?
Yes, no, Professor Roberto Frassine has different hats and is very committed to the composite community. And he's the president of EuCia, and at the same time, he's the president of ASO Composite. So he represents the Italian, he represents many things, and also he is the president of EuCia, absolutely. Yeah. So he's, sorry not to be here today, but I understood that he has never a chance to talk with you soon.
Yeah, next Friday. So everyone, community, please circle your agenda. Next Friday, the 16th, there will be a second round, and then we will have Roberto Frassine also in our LinkedIn Live, and you have to really listen to him. He's one of the really most highly regarded experts in composites. Thank you so much, Raphael. And now I'm about to conclude the first round. everyone from the associations and our media partners, thank you so much for being part of our show. And yeah, let's look into the community, what the community says right now. And to this end, I will now move Oliver, the co-pilot of this show here. But let me first get the banner out of the way. Oliver, welcome on the... Yeah, we have to get Raphael out. Welcome on the screen right now. So, Oliver, what do you say? We have over 800 live viewers here on this show. So most of them are coming from the YouTube side. Thank you so much for everyone joining us. Please also keep on writing your comments in the comment section. Yeah, Oliver, anything that is coming up in the comments? Shall we go one after the other through? Because I'm seeing a lot of people.
We are really international. We have guys from Poland, from Indonesia, and also from Bangladesh. It's unbelievable. And most of them are really happy with our show. And one message, for example, the anticipation is real. Composite is great, and you make really a great job. This is one message, for example. And I have a question to Gunnar. And we have heard so many things about the construction industries. My question is, what you will do to help the industries to come in the construction industry? What can you do for your members, and what is the best way to go into the market?
Yeah, I mean, we are very strong in aerospace industries, for example, with composites material. We have a lot of experience, and it means now to somehow to transfer the knowledge and the experience into construction industry. The construction industry is very conservative, so they really want to make sure that the material work, and we have to support them in finding out the right material. Also, when we talk about standardization and analysis, we as a network would like to help the building industry to enable them to use these new materials. We have some examples already where this material has been used successfully. We think that especially the carbon concrete, so carbon fiber reinforced concrete, is really a material for the future. But there's a way to go because there are some concerns about recycling. We always hear toxicity, for example, can play a role. And we have to really make sure to publish the right data, the right information, so that people are really open to use new materials. So this is our main task. And especially Roy Thüroff is very strong in this and is really doing a great job to make composite materials of the future also for construction industry.
Sounds really interesting. And you have also the CU Bau, and I think the CU Bau is really helpful to give the companies a possibility to come into the market. Thank you very much, Gunnar.
You're welcome, Oli. Thank you.
So now we are going on. Ilkay, what is our next step?
Yeah, I'm just screening one more time, not to forget anyone. So Volker says the most important trade fair for composites in Europe. I'm really looking forward. So obviously he was right now on the stage. The current situation, we will find solutions together. Let us keep the spirit positive. Absolutely, yes. So then we got Indonesia even here. Bismil from Indonesia, very much. Andrej Čulak. Andrej will be on our second round on the 16th of February. He's the manager of the Polish cluster of composites. So we got Poland next week in our warm-up. Oliver asks you, everyone, to please send your questions for the engagement. Yeah, we are missing some questions. More questions, please, from the community. Roy says, nice. This is his comment to Raphael's tool that he's mentioned, and that they is using it already. So thank you so much. And now we will continue, Oliver, with exhibitors. and some experts which are at JEC, because in the warm-up, for me, it's important that we have a blend between the associations, the media, exhibitors, and some visiting experts. And this is how our warm-up works today. And once again, over 700 people viewing us live. Thank you so much. We will be also in a podcast soon. And Oliver, you are also at JEC World with your own booth. Tell us about, as a co-pilot, what's going on in your booth.
Yes, and this year we have a big booth, bigger than the last year. And our goal is to show the community the news, the highlights. We are specialized in medical applications and also in construction. We have some new developments for the construction market, and we will show the community what's going on, what helps the industry to come forward. And the booth is in the hall 6, view 57. So 75, sorry. And I'm happy to see you at our booth, and we can show you the news from Sigitech.
Okay, thank you so much, Oliver. You are continuing to screen and watch the comments while I'm talking now to Alexander from Austria.
Hi, Ilkay. Hi,
Servus.
community. Servus.
Servus, Alexander.
Servus.
Did you watch the Wiener Opernball yesterday?
Actually, I was traveling by plane during that time, but I followed for sure all the media reports. Yes.
Fantastic.
Have you been there, Ilkay?
Yes. No, I have never been to the Wiener Opernball. I wish I could be there as a debutant. They say, yeah, debutant the first time. Maybe you have a salon or lunch there, and then you can invite me.
Just maybe kidding. We should talk to Richard Lugner. Maybe you know him.
Yeah, exactly. No, I really love that culture. Community, we are a bit late now, 20 minutes over the time, but I knew up front that this will be a very exciting and useful session. So we are taking time. And Alexander, I met Alexander the first time. I think it was also in Augsburg, JEC Forum Augsburg.
Augsburg, Stade or Salzburg, I don't remember clearly.
Yeah, I mean, we are omnipresent and on LinkedIn anyway. So, Alexander, tell me about your background. How did you come to Composites before we go into Langsauna?
Basically, a short wrap up. Yes, it was like by my educational career already. So I started actually in the mechanical and polymer engineering. I do have an engineering degree there in composites and plastics, but also mechanical engineering. And after that, I was working for 9 years in the aviation industry at the tier 1 system supplier in different roles in program management, business development. So I've been traveling a lot and have been a lot in contact with major OEMs in the aerospace industry, tier 1s, tier 2 suppliers. And everywhere I have been on the globe, I found a Langsauna press. And they made me curious, and I decided to visit Langsauna. So it was like the step from a producer of components to the producer of the equipment, highly efficient equipment. And on my first visit at Langsauna, I was caught up by the innovation and pioneering spirit of a relatively young team with the passion to create the perfect solution and being flexible, as I saw there are specific needs for each product. So finally, it came that I'm now working since more than 7 years at Langsauna, coming from the composites to the mechanical engineering. And I'm responsible for global sales and marketing globally. And we now deliver a wide field of areas, aerospace, automotive, sports, wind energy. So all the areas composites are required and necessary.
Yes, Langsauna. I'm impressed with Langsauna's press that I saw at the CTC in Stade. Yeah, I think that was the first time I met you. Now my mouse, sorry.
I agree, yeah. It was in Stade, I think, the 20th anniversary with Mark Fette, yes. Yeah.
Yes. That is a 1,500 tons press, and I asked myself, I wondered why the hell would a composite industry need 1,500 tons? But then again, they are pressing large items like 1,800 by 1,500 millimeters. So you need this force because it's a large surface that has to be pressed. But let's go a step back into the press technology, because that's also something that I'm wondering. Why is the classic press technology also a good way to improve production processes in composite manufacturing? Because I understand that you have presses also for the wood industry. Can you explain us what are the similarities and what are the differences between compressing wood and pressing composites?
Basically, if we would be a kind of ecologic in this matter, we could say a wood and a composite is pretty much from the physics, it could be considered as a similar setup, right? So wood is like fibers with lignin, and what we do in the composites is, let's say, to combine some different properties with some different with some different resins. And to achieve the best properties for the part required. So we do presses since more than 90 years for the wood industry. And later on, it was the first step coming to a sandwich construction. And it was in the 1960s already when we built the first ski presses. And we see a ski on this side actually, which is a very typical part existing for a very long time. But this technology came later also to the aerospace industry for the interiors, for example, and especially in the press technology, there was a boost of innovation over the last 15 to 20 years when it comes to composites. Today's systems are smart, flexible, highly precise, and they can be used as a multi-process capable equipment, which means that the investment, it's like a future-proof investment and highly resistant to any upcoming change of requirements. But one of the key elements is to save energy and make a system very efficient. And with our servo hydraulic, we are in these days able to save up to 75% of energy consumption costs compared to conventional systems. And by the way, output is a big question. With a press, you're able to produce a very high output rate while having short cycle times. And this means that we are also able, as you mentioned, to scale up enormously in terms of size, but also to combine different process steps. That means a one-shot cycle together with an injection unit and to functionalize organo sheets. Such things are possible there. And I think the market is really asking for such solutions.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for getting us back into the history. And my follow-up question would be, I don't know whether you have been already at the company Langzaun at that time, but when did you realize that wood, I believe that was the first product, wood presses, can be applied into composites? What was suddenly clear to you guys?
I think it happened already at the early stage because it was the property that was the driver to achieve some and control properties and improve that for the product. So simply the reason why when we realized that our technology is a crucial one is like all the discussion about transformation, saving weight to reduce the fuel consumption. That's one of the drivers. It was in the very early 90s in the aerospace already. So the entire interior is produced on Langzauner presses globally at every OEM. So there is a clear vision in these days, and paths are given to a sustainable environment to reduce the carbon footprint, and that leads to alternative and new powertrain technologies, circular economy projects, and so on. And this transformation is ongoing. And what we see is that partners are needed to support that process with innovative equipments, but also with a high grade of flexibility. So that means we customize and tailor-made solutions, either on an R&D scale or on a serial production scale. So we talk about a 1 ton pressing force up to 10,000 ton pressing force, depending on the size. And this is what we have proven many times in the last couple of years. And so finally, for us, it's not the end with discussing a press. It's getting even more exciting when we come to upstreaming and downstreaming processes like the automation around. So our solution is, let's say, a full package to the customer for being more efficient and produce high volume composite parts as well.
10,000?
There is physically no limit. just to give you an example, there is a project that we have just won. We can discuss in a couple of weeks, I guess, during the JEC. It's a 10.5 by 3.5 meter plate in size to produce big parts for the aircraft industry. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay. That explodes my imagination. So I'm keen to know more about that. So now that's pretty clear to me. So the composites have been a logical step towards this. Now the other value that you have mentioned is the complete automation systems, and we had one viewer that was talking about automation. So we are not talking about email automation or digital automation. We are talking about manufacturing automation here. Tell us about what extraordinary value does that create?
So basically, in a sentence, in a nutshell, Langzauner is a one-stop shop. That means for our clients, it's turnkey, trouble-free. We sometimes say once a Langzauner, always a Langzauner. This is the attitude, the philosophy that drives us also in the after sales and service business. But so we are a partner from the very beginning, from R&D and concept studies to cycle time evaluation, simulation, to customize and build the press to the needs of the process, of the building environment, and to integrate various components and equipment such as injection molding units, furnaces, robots, resin injection units. There is nearly no limit. So when it comes then to the logistics and transports, we take care about the global shipment. We do the commissioning, installation, the training handover, and the production support. So it's really a turnkey solution for our suppliers, and based on the specific needs where we are able to react.
Okay. So your booth at JEC is 5P Paula 58, as far as I'm...
Exactly.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, yeah, I got that from the official list. There's a PDF, dear community. You can download the PDF, or you can go into the interactive map. Tell us, Alexander, what's going on at JEC? Are there any specific news, or is it as usual?
No, as usual, is nothing this year. I think there is a big anniversary. Langzauner is celebrating its 100th year anniversary. That means 1924. Basically, was our year of birth, and so for sure we invite all the community to swing by at our booth, and visit us. Let's have some nice discussions, some food, some fun, as I've heard already today. And there's one message I can give. So pressure is our daily business. So I think give us a chance to impress you. And if you're not at the JEC, just leave me a message at LinkedIn or contact me through our website, give me a call, and let's discuss.
Yes, Alexander is very much active on LinkedIn, so you can reach him on LinkedIn anytime. And pressure is your business. I like that claim. Everyone is pressurizing themselves, and you are pressurizing composites. So, Alexander, what's your call to action? What should the people do after this LinkedIn Live? The first thing they should do?
I think best would be to contact me on LinkedIn, provide a slot in your schedule to visit us at the JEC, and visit our website. I think that's the 3 tasks, and I'm available all the time. Would be happy to discuss and talk with you. We have the perfect solution for you to enhance your production and increase the capability, efficiency, and I'm keen on discussing. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So I will be meeting Alexander at his booth 5P58, and I will make a video interview with him. So stay tuned. After the JEC show, you will get a detailed video about what's going on, the 100th years of Langzauner and all these presses that are really fascinating. Alexander, thanks for being part of my show. And now we are moving on to Alan Harper. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, I mean, press technology, maybe it doesn't come first into your mind when you think about composites, but presses are so important in so many cases. And now we are moving into the production of composites. And one of the major core important things is in composites. Composites per default are long living. Yeah, they have a long life, very long life, because mostly they are inorganic. And of course, they are an enabler of CO2 reduction because they are lightweight and they are strong. But there is sometimes critics, of course, that you need a lot of operational materials and you're wasting a lot of materials when it comes to producing composites. And that's something that is of course of a concern, but we got you covered. We got solutions for that. And now let me greet Alan. Alan is originally from the UK, but right now he is in Bangkok in Thailand. And Alan is really, as you can see, sweating, but it's evening time for him. Therefore, it's a little darker than our surroundings here. I've met Alan also at ICS, the International Composites Summit, last time. And I took a couple of photos with Alan and myself because of his nice hat. He's the first British gentleman that I met with the hat. So I was curious to get to know him. And my daughter, she was taking pictures. So thanks, Alan, for your time and tuning in from Bangkok, Thailand. How are things over in Thailand?
Well, I haven't gone to sleep yet, but it's past my dinner time, and I'm very hungry. So I'm very keen to get on with this, but I will follow it to the end. Thank you for the opportunity, and hello to all your guests. And I'd just like to say that, contrary to the high pressure that Alexander was talking about, we're at the other end of the scale. We're on a negative atmospheric pressure molding technique, which I've focused in. And looking at from where it all started, briefly, in 1983, I entered composites, making commercial vehicle parts by the hand lay process. Yes, I know how to hand lay. At my age, I should do. In this time, it was also spent on RTM, because we started to develop in the company I was working for at that time, RTM, then moving away from the hand lay process, and got involved in RTM machinery, etc. 1997, which is nearly 30 years ago, started to focus on, very much so, the light RTM, which is a low pressure, lower cost than RTM. And then in 2007, I decided I'd sell my company. I sold it to a USA, Seattle-based company, MVP, who are at the show. And I started my own company in 2010 again, at Allen Harper Composites, which is basically in silicon, in terms of machinery and silicon reusable membranes to this date. Hello?
I'm here. I'm just checking the communication on the comments. So have you seen that Andre Antunes says, hello, Mr. Allen. Where's Andre from? Tell us.
Andre is a very, very proactive South American man for us, for himself actually, but he uses our technology. I met Andre when I started in 2011, I think, or 2010, in Chile. They were making parts for the mining industry, and they were using the RTM process. Then they moved over to the silicon process, and he never looked back. He was so overwhelmed and enthused with this. He then took the technology throughout the whole of South America. So RTM to light RTM, and then zero to the silicon technology. You speak to Andre, because he's the man down in South America.
Okay, so all the best.
He will be on our stand in JEC, by the way.
Yeah, so we will meet him at JEC. Your stand at the JEC booth is 5L132. So visit Allen Harper Composites. He has his own booth at the JEC. And Alan, now you've already told me about the big cost savings, yeah, in terms of waste and labor reduction. But how do you feel your technology impacts upon today's great desire to become more sustainable and lowering our carbon footprint?
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, from our point of view, there are a lot of reasons for this, and we're jumping ahead of myself to a certain extent because there are some more things to add. But our message is clear. Our message is very clear, and we're passionate about this. That there's no other low-pressure closed mold composite process which features such great weight savings and waste reduction. Waste reduction is what we're about. Compared to unsound consumable vacuum bagging, which I know a lot of our listeners will know about, where large quantities of a resin contaminated single-use plastic continuously enters the waste stream. Reusables basically shine as an elegant and noble alternative to the total harmony and in step with today's humanitarian needs over reducing our carbon footprint. And that's basically what our technology is bringing. And I would like to add that that if we look back at the classic composite production process and why we saw it as wasteful, if we recognize that the closed mold light RTM process was not ideal from a cost point of view in terms of including the high maintenance and the skill level that was required. We've already heard about skill levels and there's a lack of it. Well, here, this is where the technology that we propose and bring to the market is helping dramatically. And it was the wasteful and the time and wasteful, always the peripheral injection feeds of the central catch box of the light RTM process, which we really didn't enjoy. And nonetheless, the light RTM process is less wasteful than the infusion. Now, vacuum bag infusion at the time was just considered appropriate only for the sort of one-offs or very low volume. But there was a moment when we realized in 2010, when we started, that after, please understand that after about 30 years of experience in closed mold technology, I suddenly realized that there's a huge advantage that the flexible silicon mold was bringing to the industry. And it's where we've now gone forward with this technology. Just to mention a few major concerns or advantages is that they were self-releasing. We didn't need to put release coats on. There's almost no maintenance. There's no great infrastructure requirements, lifts and cranes. And it's half the price of the production tooling for the light RTM process. And these benefits go further because we say that a new employee, for example, if he comes in with a shirt on his back, then the skill level, you might laugh at this, needed to dress that shirt on his back, he's got more skill level needed than he needs to dress the mold with a reusable silicon bag. So we've reduced the skill level dramatically, but in a closed mold environment, which is everybody's desire.
All right, community, I'm seeing that you're keeping on with comments, which is really great. And some of the comments are not showing up for some reason here in our studio. But fortunately, there is one question. Oliver, I'm taking this now up front because it's directed to Ellen. Stefan asks you, Ellen, what is, on your opinion, the maximum size in square meter of a silicone bag? Because it is heavy and difficult to handle, it is too big? Or where do you see the difficult things of silicone bags? I also see a lot of advantages, but also some disadvantages.
Well, the infrastructure, that's just a simple engineering problem. We've worked up to 54 square meters, but we see no problem in actually operating on a 110 square meter, 110 square meters or larger for a wind turbine blade. The problem is, I've got to make this very clear. The problem is wind turbine blades generally, apart from one company, I believe, in the world, is making them with epoxies. Epoxies are basically not good news for silicon membranes, because the amines in the epoxy doesn't like the silicon. But there's a whole wealth of people out there who are using vinyl esters, phenolics, MMAs and polyesters and so on, that the membranes are reusable on, and reusable up to 600 parts. 600 parts. So it's a great advantage to go for.
Okay, absolutely. Thanks for making this clear, Alan. And Stefan, I hope your question is answered. Stefan also mentioned before that if you are interested in all-round composite products, but then my smartphone doesn't show the full comment. Maybe you can put a shorter sentence, Stefan, so we can show the short sentence here. The shorter, the better the comments. Make them, please, precise and on point. And then there are also other comments that I will attend now with Oliver later on. Now, Alan, back to you. But Alan, just for me, because I'm interested in the composite technologies, but why are composite production processes often so wasteful? I mean, who has invented this wasteful processes, and why did they invent it so wasteful?
Well, the most wasteful process, no question about it, and others tell us this, and anybody can look at it. If you walk into an infusion molding plant, you will see people pulling off reams and reams of plastic sheeting to cover the fiberglass. But before they do that, or the carbon fiber, before they do that, they put on breather meshes, they put on spiral wraps, they put on tacky tape, they put on a whole gambit of paraphernalia of single-use plastics. And when you've done all that, you can put the resin in, and once you've made sure the vacuum is tight. And after that, what happens? You take the whole lot and throw it away, and you start all over again. That's madness, absolute madness. But that's how our industry works. And I can assure you, the dumpsters, the plastic waste that we see go out, and it's not just the plastic, it's the resin that's inside it. And the main thing, one of the big things, is that we've removed all the single use that is needed in infusion now, especially with the flow field technology that has come forward over the last 12 years. And that means that we have no consumables. We can do everything on a reusable basis.
Now, Alan, will you upset the bag manufacturers and the resin manufacturers, because now you are reducing the consumption? Will you upset them?
Well, I would say I have to look over my shoulder sometimes when I walk around Paris, but I'm an old man, so I've had my fun and so on, and I'm quite happy to be a thorn in the pile, as it were. But yes, of course, it's the same that happened with Kodak when they were selling film to take photographs, and the digital camera came across. And of course, their business was just decimated overnight. The same happened with facsimile machines. We now communicate with emails, so electronically. So technology changes. What we say is if anybody's interested in this, then basically we say to folk, just identify a part that you want to try out with this process. We're quite happy to, with you, build you a straightforward mold. It only takes a day. Then you can see for yourself, and within the day, you can make the membrane, make the part, cure the part, have it in your hand, and the proof of the pudding, the evidence is right in front of you. And that's what converts people once they feel it's feely touchy.
So, but Andre has a different conclusion, and Andre's conclusion is very constructive. He thinks we reduce the consumption, but we increase production, so the general output will be similar in kilogram, but more number of parts. And he's right, because we are getting the cost of the piece also down, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
We find that we can now enter the resin much quicker than the infusion. At the moment, most people use the God-given atmosphere to push the resin in.
Yeah.
Some people, unfortunately, some people think it's being sucked in, but it's not. It's being pushed in by the atmosphere. And that we've only got one atmosphere in this world, unless you move planets. Well, that's not convenience unless you get Elon Musk to fly you there. So basically, you simply have a resistance to getting the resin in. It's quite normal in this process to lift the membrane, like the sheet on your bed, pour the entire composite of the resin underneath the blanket, put it down. It would pull a vacuum immediately, and then it would fill, and it would fill much quicker than you would have in an infusion or in light RTM.
Yes. Okay. I'm just getting a internal message from Christoph Schneeberger. Christoph, just to let you know, I move you to a later point so that you can solve your technical issues. And
Okay.
Stefan Fleischmann, please prepare. You will be the next one in the line. But back to Alan. Alan, now we understand you reduce the waste and everything is, of course, in line with sustainability and the ideas. But is there also other extraordinary value besides reducing the waste? How about output? How about quality? Things like that.
Well, the quality, it's done right, like all molding processes. You have no bubbles. You have perfect moldings. The other point is, everybody agrees now, and it's not just us saying it, our clients find it. If you compare it to an RTM or light RTM process, if you convert the same part with this process, you normally save somewhere in the region of 25% resin. I mean, seriously, 25% resin. Don't take my word.
It's pretty expensive stuff, right?
Yes. I've got some people buying it vinyl ester over £10 a kilo. And
Oof.
if you use flow mesh, under the consumable bagging, you will consume 0.6 of a kilo of resin for every square meter. So a 10 square meter hull, for example, is going to use 6 kilos of resin. That's 60 kilos, 6 pounds worth, 60 pounds worth of English pounds of waste just going straight into your dumpster, because you have to have it there to help it get through the fiber. We've eliminated that need now.
Yeah, and therefore the parts that you are resulting will be getting cheaper and more affordable to the industry, and then of course it becomes also more interesting for volume manufacturers. So Alan, my last question to you is, you will be at JEC with your own booth. The booth number is 5L132. So why should people visit you on your booth? What's special there? What will you show?
Say hello. Yes. What's special is we'll be able to demonstrate. We won't demonstrate with live resin this year. I would like to, but I'm in Thailand. We're going to you will see from experience from the demonstrations of the dry demonstrations that we have, the samples we have, and so on. And what other clients have told us, the referrals we have, that this is real technology moving forward for the composites industry. We reduced the wastage, we reduced the total consumption of single-use plastics, and we de-skill to a level where you can take virtually any school leaver off the street, and he can be molding good parts within the week.
Wow. That's a nice promise from a classic manufacturer. Alan, thank you so much for joining us all over from Bangkok, Thailand.
Thank you.
Yes. So what is available for dinner tonight? Is it more English style or Thai style?
Oh, you're going to be sure it'll be plenty of prawns and Thai green curry.
Okay. So bon appetit, as we say in England.
Thank you. Come coon crap, as they say here.
Okay. Bye-bye. So, gentlemen, now we had Christoph shortly having troubles, but now I see Christoph is available and I'm getting him now on the booth or on stage right now. So, Christoph, he is the lead at Antifil Technologies. He has a booth at JEC in Hall 5, F16.
Correct.
Isn't that a fighter jet called also F-16?
Yes, but we have nothing to do with that. I believe that
nothing to do with it. Not yet. Not yet. Who knows?
There you go.
Christoph, thanks for joining our show. And you are one of the exhibitors that are close to my heart because I'm working with glass fibers for the past 30 years, and you are there to improve the performance of glass fibers and the thermoplast features of glass fibers. But before we move into the technicalities of your process, how did you come to composites? What's your background?
Yeah, so in the end, it's quite simple. I'm a mechanical engineer by training, and I got in touch with Formula Student during my bachelor studies. And you might say that I'm one of the engineering children of that competition. I was responsible for composite parts in terms of wheel sets, which in the competition have pretty much become the standard now for the top teams. And so this was something where there was a lot of innovation and a lot of inventive spirit going on at the time. This was back in 2010, 2011. And it was a really exciting time to be part of such a dedicated and driven team, and working with composites. Immediately through sponsorships, got to work with autoclaving processes. So, you know, when you start your journey with composites, with such possibilities, you can't imagine another thing to do after your studies. So I just had to stick with it.
I can hear the passion that you have gone through with these students with the Formula racing cars, and I see that also here in our region. They do a lot of racing cars with composites. Okay, let's dive into your innovation. But let's describe first the problem. Why is it so difficult for thermoplastic to cover every single fiberglass?
Well,
fiber or roving?
Yeah. Well, no matter if you're talking about the outside of a roving or the inside of a roving, right? If in the end, if you want to have composite properties and composite action, you need to have good adhesion and you need to have low void content. And basically what you want is good impregnation. So it's very fitting that, you know, we're talking about this now after your interview with Alan, because, you know, impregnation processes are a key issue in the entire composites industry, because so far there hasn't been a process that circumvents that, right? Everybody starts out with reinforcement fibers and some sort of resin, thermoplastic, polymer, whatever, but how do you combine the two? That's the key issue, right? With thermoplastics, it's specifically challenging because you're dealing with much higher viscosities. You're dealing with polymer molecules which are already polymerized. You already have long chains, right? Unless you're going for reactive systems, which have their own, you know, subset of challenges. But generally speaking, especially if you want to go into high volume mass production, short cycle times, high lot numbers, it's an issue of how can you basically supply a production chain for the manufacturing of a specific component that is very efficient in terms of being fast, but also being low cost in terms of the tooling that you need and the processes that you're using. And this is something with thermoplastics where, you know, with short fiber fillings, with injection molding, with LFT, with organosheets, with UD tapes, there's been a lot that's already been done. But our motivation really was to push that further and see, wait a minute, what can we do, not just to improve how fast and how efficiently and with what quality you can impregnate your fibers and combine those two materials, but maybe there's another way of thinking about this.
Yeah, always the thoughts are revolving around to improve the things, and that makes the innovation, of course, it's a salient feature. What was the moment that that brought this up to you, that you realized something's not really working as it could be working? What was that moment? Was there a salient moment where you had this aha, where you said, okay, now it's clear to me that's the reason why it's not working?
Yeah. So it's very meaningful to me because we are now working on industrializing a technology that is based on ideas that have been an idea that has been had by many people in the industry over decades. In our case, it was really sort of the key moment was when dealing with commingling yarn technologies and FITs. FITs aren't around anymore, really. Commingled yarns still are, luckily, and they still have their place. But basically, the idea was, when you're dealing with thermoplastic composite feedstock, where you can make a part very efficiently because you have fibers and matrix already within your intermediate material. What are the issues of producing that intermediate material, and how efficiently can you actually process it? Can you convert it into a component? And there have been studies going on what quality of commingled yarn do you require to match a certain cycle time, to match a certain quality, to achieve a certain fiber filling as well, fiber degree content. And that was the point where very quickly we came to the idea, rather than trying to have a better mixture of fibers in a commingling sense in a hybrid yarn, or to have a better impregnation process to produce tapes or organosheets, what if we could basically start out with fibers where every single reinforcement fiber already is a composite? Because then you would have an ideal distribution of the materials. You would have very homogeneous properties right from the start. And there would be potential promises downstream. And so that was sort of the origin of the idea. Okay, let's look into how we can take the idea of bicomponent fibers, but rather doing them polymer, doing them with a glass reinforcement.
Okay, great. So we got Andre asking you a question. What is the general viscosity of such thermoplastic resin and average cycle time?
Well, I would say that that's a very broad question to ask, because it depends a lot on the chemistry of the actual polymer, right? But generally speaking, if we're talking about thermosetting resins, we're talking about anything that is between, water and honey. If we're talking about thermoplastics, it's really way beyond that. So we're talking about, thousands of Pascal seconds to the 100,000s of Pascal seconds, especially if you're dealing with high temperature thermoplastics, like polyether ketones, for example. And so this is something where, we're orders of magnitude above the viscosity of very fluid resin systems for like epoxy or vinyl esters, etc. And so this is something where that is a big part of where the challenge comes from, how to efficiently and impregnate fibers with thermoplastics and achieving high quality as well.
In light of this broad question, very well answered, Christoph.
Yeah, sorry?
In light of this general question, very detailed answer. Thank you so much.
There you go.
Yeah. What is the other values you are giving? I mean, one is of course, the distribution, and it's probably then a more mechanically better bonding. Is there any other values coming with that feature?
Yeah, so we found a multitude of things. The original goal was to say, by basically producing fibers which carry their matrix as an individual coating around the reinforcement, the way we do it, we avoid impregnation altogether. So the idea was, to basically cut that bottleneck out of the value chain. That was the original motivation. But we found that in addition to this, throughout converting these fibers into structural components, into laminates, that you get possibilities to achieve higher volume contents of fiber. So, basically where we have been struggling with tapes or organosheets to achieve proper consolidation at around 60 to 65 volume percent, we can easily achieve that with our fibers with even 70% or more. We've produced laminates with 80 volume percent fiber filling in UD, of course, which is, fairly unheard of. And so in terms of quality, there's really a sort of a disruptive, game-changing aspect to it. But at the same time, we're talking about a fibrous material, right? So you can go into any textile process that you want. We've had stitch preforms that we've demonstrated together with BeyondTech. We've had weaves, we've had UD architectures, we've had a look at non-crimp fabrics, NCFs. And so you have all the flexibility that you desire in terms of textile processing, how you want to design your architecture to go into the production of the part itself. But then at the same time, you only need to consolidate the material when you're actually producing the part. So you get much more flexibility in terms of the geometrical complexity that you want to achieve in a part design. And that, I think, is really much a game changer, because we're seeing cycle times comparable to those of cold pressing of organosheets, so really seconds rather than minutes or hours. But at the same time, you're not limited by sort of the draping forces that you need and the limit in shear that you can achieve with the draping of organosheets, but rather, with loose fibers that we have in a fiber architecture, you have a much more flexible preform that is easily draped into any shape.
Okay, so wonderful features, wonderful benefits in coating these fibers, Christoph. Now, the last question is, so you are at JEC booth F5 in Hall 5, F16.
F16,
so,
yes.
Yeah, why should the people come to you? And do you have your own booth? I think so, right?
We do have our own booth for the very first time, so it's very exciting for us, to exhibit ourselves for the first time at JEC. Why stop by? First of all, we are planning a live demonstration, actually, so please come and take a look of what it looks like to actually convert these fibers into laminates. We're having coffee, of course, half the team is there, so you'll definitely find someone to talk to get more insights into the benefits of our products. And the very exciting thing, on Tuesday and Wednesday at 4 p.m., if you're feeling a bit hungry, if you need a bit of sugar, we are serving some chocolate in a chocolate fountain. So basically the idea is that you can come and coat your own, produce your own hybrid fibers, but with a chocolate matrix.
Swiss chocolate, of course.
Swiss chocolate, obviously, from Zurich.
Okay. Christoph, thank you so much. My last question is, what should the people do now after they've listened to what you said? What's the first action they should do?
So there's three things I would like to highlight. First of all, for anyone who's not able to make it to JEC, which is also okay, right? Reach out to us on LinkedIn, reach out to us through our website. We have a contact form, reach out to us through email. We're happy to talk to anyone at the same time. It's not all tied to JEC. But obviously, if you're there, come stop by our booth, visit us, have some chocolate. That's the important aspect also. We want to have some fun, but come stop by and look at the live demos. We'll have them throughout all 3 days. Any hour, you can just come by. If you want to talk to us in more depth and have half an hour of our time or more, have a look at the business meetings platform. It's really, really good. Something I want to highlight. JEC is really well organized that way. We still have a few open slots, but they're filling up fast, so be quick. Talk to us, and if you found that there are no open slots for us to meet, just text us, shout out to LinkedIn and or through email, and we can talk together through different means.
Okay, so that's about it. Now I have a final. I need to ask you one final thing. Next in line is Stefan. Stefan Fleischmann is a polymer expert, a plastics expert. We will talk surely about injection molding and other stuff. how would you bridge now your technology into injection molding?
It's something we're actively working on. Already last year at JEC, actually, BioNTech, our collaborator in a demo project, showed a joint demonstrator that we've made where BioNTech used their stitching technology to have a tailored fiber placement preform that we used as an insert for an injection molding tool. And then we back injected it with additional material to form a composite part, which improves the stiffness of the component in a factor of 9, while only adding 18% more weight compared to the pure plastic part. So that was really an example of where we can leverage this technology to have, inserts which are fairly cheap with a high-performance textile process in stitching, using it as an insert for back injecting. And that's something that we're also trying to push. So if that's of interest, we're very happy to talk more in depth about this.
Yeah, Stefan, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm also the opinion. In the past, you had the Composite World and I say the thermoplastic world, but I think they will grow more and more together. So in future, we will have more and more a combination of different processes. For example, first step is a forming process of an organic sheet, and then we have a handling device who put the preform directly into an injection molding machine, for example, and then you have with a back injection process, you add the frame or some clips or some you need for the final part, and this, I think, this will be the future.
Okay, wonderful. So we successfully made then the bridge. Christoph, thank you so much. And I will continue with Stefan.
Thank you.
Stefan, so injection molding, plastics. Tell us about your background. How did you come to plastics and possibly composites?
So I started more than 20 years ago. So I studied the science of plastic in my hometown, Würzburg. And during my studies, as I mentioned before, normally you have the typical thermoplastic world, but I was more fascinated from the composite materials. So after I successfully finished my studies in Würzburg, I started in the aeronautic industry where composite materials are mainly used. And that were my first steps in the plastic world. And since more than 20 years, I'm now in different positions and for different companies. But in each position, I had always the situations in meetings where I have to explain general basics about plastic materials, because you have big meeting participant. So you have some from purchase department, project leaders, or from quality department, and there was always a big lack of knowledge about plastic materials. So you were very often in situations where you have to explain basics. Because if you are expert, you of course use technical terms or abbreviations. We heard before, like tacky tape or peel ply, and then you look into questions, question marks, and then you have always to explain, what is a peel ply. And then 1 week later, you have the next meeting, and then you have the same question, and you explain again. And then I tried, I thought about how can I improve this situation. So then I decided to organize training courses. And now since over 2 years, I organized training, or I perform training courses for people who are career changers or beginners in the plastics industry, but who had these people had mostly a commercial background, maybe not a technical background, and then I give them I help them to learn in 2 days the basic knowledge so that they can participate successfully in such meetings.
Yes, this reminds me a bit to our textile industry, where we have also courses for non-technicians, and you can really learn very fast in a fast pace about the individual features of textiles, for example. Wonderful. Now let me ask you, why is it that so few people know about the plastics technology?
Yeah, one thing is plastic material is not very popular for young people at the moment. No? Daily you see pictures in television or in social media from plastic waste in the ocean or somewhere in the landscape. And so it's not very popular to start as trainee in the plastics industry. So you have since years falling quantities for trainees, and also the universities complain that they have too less students. But the companies or plastics industry is you have new applications, and they need the companies need experts, but they don't find them in the market, so they employ people they get, and that's the reason there is a lack of knowledge in this case. And we heard before, the plastic world or the composite world is very complex. You have a lot of different materials. You have a bright range of possibilities to combine materials. You have different processes, and the companies are specialized on one or two processes, and they use special materials. But for having a better understanding, you need, in my opinion, you need knowledge or basic knowledge about the whole plastic world.
Agree, absolutely. So, Stefan, once you know more about plastics and more about composites, what is the value once you know better about it in terms of innovation, technology, and sustainability?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I think in future we have a growing together of different worlds. So in the past we had the composite industry and the thermoplastic industry, and this, in my opinion, these two worlds are growing together. So we will in future have combination of processes, also new materials, which requires new processes or new variants of processes. Also, for the issues we have at the moment, and which are also important for the future, like recycling of materials. For example, that's a disadvantage of the thermoset materials up to now. So the advantage of using thermoplastic materials. And this is also I explain in my training what is the difference between thermosets and thermoplastics. And then you learn thermoplastic is not thermoplastic. There are also differences. You have differences in the structure, like the plastic materials This has an amorphous structure and semi-crystalline structure, and this has therefore they have also other characteristics in the mechanical behavior, for example, or in the optical characteristics, and that's the topics you learn in my trainings. So you have a common overview about the world of plastics.
Absolutely. Thanks for your work here as a trainer on the different technologies. And what would be your final call to action? What should the people do after they've watched this LinkedIn Live?
I invite everybody to come to my training course. So I offer these training courses. I have fixed date all around Germany. So you can look to my homepage where is the nearest location for you. So the next date is in 2 weeks in Munich. And I have locations which are close to public transport or the central station, so it's very easy to come because very often you hear the disadvantage of presence training is we have long travel times, travel costs, but I come near to you, so most of my trainees sleep at home, and some of them have a shorter way to my training than to work.
Okay.
So this is the benefit for my training course, and I have also a fair price, I think. And therefore it's a good offer from my side.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. For being also part of our show, because plastics and composites, they are really attached to each other, and it's great to have an expert here from the plastics industry. Thank you, Stefan, and see you soon.
Thank you for the invitation.
So now we are going plastics, now we are going reinforcements, textiles. And this is my last guest today, Nasri Ben Frey. So he will be also visiting JEC, and we will meet also at JEC. Yeah, Nasri, welcome to our show. Nasri, you are still muted.
Yes. Now it's okay.
Now I can hear you. Yes.
Great. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Ilkay, for the invitation. Thanks a lot for the nice round. It's really grateful for me personally, and an honor also for my company to be part of this nice event. Yeah. I'm very excited also for the JEC. Yeah, for the next time. I visited also a few times since years as a student and also as a part of this industry. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so tell us about your story. How did you come to the composites world?
Yeah, my story is it's quite funny actually. It's a long time back, in '93, when I moved to Germany to study. I was subscribed in touristic university. Actually, my intention was to be a touristic manager at that time. Then I got to know that I have to wait 3 years because it was big demand for the touristic industry. Same day, I got to know this bad news. I was reading in a magazine that the Formula One cars are made of composites and then technical textile. First time I heard this word, technical textile. We know only textile at that time. Then I start to search what is that, and got to know technical textile, composite for the automotive, for the aerospace is the future, building, construction, medical industry. Well, I was very, very fascinated from that day, and I decided to study it. And I'm happy that the touristic university refused me at that time, and I don't regret this decision. And I'm enjoying now. I'm in the industry since 24 years. I'm enjoying really every day in this fascinated composite and technical textile in general. Yeah.
So you had a similar experience like Christoph Schneeberger, who also came from the racing industry to composites. Yes. Okay, so Nasri, then of course you have been at some of the most renowned textile machine builders, employed as a business development manager, and because of your heritage, the Middle East, the Near and Middle East is one of your key regions.
Yes.
Tell me about why is the Near and the Middle East so underrated in the people's mind? How would you convince them otherwise?
Well, I don't think it's underrated as you mentioned, and it's actually it's a matter of approach and it's a matter of understanding the business mentality first of all of this region, and how to really approach and where and when. Yeah, it's not that unknown as you said. Actually, well, I'm doing business in this region, in the MENA region in general, Middle East and North Africa, since more than 20 years. I lived also there for 10 years in UAE. I was managing a German company well known on the business of coated fabrics. The thing is that the know-how is not enough to succeed in this region. This is also our job today in our company, Technical Textile Business Consulting. We are a bridge between the know-how and the application, and also the know-how and the mentality of this region. It's maybe in Europe we are used to talk about techniques a lot, about way of production, even in the machineries business. In this region, we need to talk more their languages. They are not very used on that. They just need to know how to applicate it. Honestly, they are very open. It's very innovative industry. Also, we are very active in the building construction industry. And those mentalities are always very open, especially when it comes from Europe, and also very open, as I said, for the innovations, especially if you provide them the right solutions. The problem is not maybe the budget, especially in the Gulf region. The most important is the solution, and this is one of our slogans always: we are solution providers. And as I mentioned, we try to be the bridge, and especially in the building construction, it's a fun. It's actually is a nice playground for the European know-how to be there, and those people are really very open, for new things.
And so, and you are helping then composites companies, textile companies to enter these markets. So when did you realize that they are so receptive and open to Western technologies? Have you had your own aha moment for this?
Yes, of course. I had many moments.
Maybe choose one.
Actually, one was I remember 2004 was with the Ministry of Public Work in Dubai. We supported them to find the right solutions for their building construction insulations, covering specifically lightweight structure. The environment is different there. We supported them to choose the right product for the right applications, and since then we built a big trust with them. Also the reinforcement of the concrete. We have also some experience in Turkey and some other countries. We realized really a long time back that this market need to be more educated, and they are very open for news, and they are very open for innovations. Just we need to know how to approach them.
Okay, wonderful. So, community, you see that I have invited guests that are not only looking at the composite production process. We have the press process, we have the fiber coating process, we have the bag process. So all the processes here. But of course, the marketing, the business development side, the knowledge about textiles and the knowledge about polymers is also so important. So I'm trying to, give you a rounded figure about or a rounded idea about composites. And I'm really happy to have Nasri here on board, Stefan here on board. And my last question to you is, Nasri, what is your expectation from JEC World? You're going there, I assume, with your partner. You have a business partner. What are your expectations? What impulses are you expecting from JEC World?
Well, as usually, first of all, to see the news, to see the innovations. As I told you, for me, the technical textile, the composite is not only functional, only job I do, business. It's like a hobby for me personally. Yes, we are also meeting there some good clients and business partners from the Middle East as well, especially from Turkey. We are following some projects in the earthquake area in Turkey, what happened last year. Seeing some friends, seeing you again. We don't have the possibility to meet because of the time schedule in Germany. We are meeting often during the JEC. But yes, I'm really very excited to see the JEC. This year came in a very tough schedule. In the next 4 months, we have four exhibitions. One in Turkey and Germany, one in Saudi Arabia, also in the building construction exhibition, Big Five Riyadh will be this year. Also very, very interesting platform to meet the world again. And it's a very hot area, not only the weather, the business industry there also, especially building construction industry. Yeah, and the JEC will be in Paris again. Yeah, good opportunity to have again good wine and a nice steak with you, Ilkay.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Okay, Nasri, thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Your participation here on this warm-up for JEC. And dear community, we are coming slowly to an end. So we have now just 2 hours of streaming time here. And I'm seeing that our stream on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and X, formerly Twitter, is going strong. I'm seeing, however, the attendance is slowing down. So I think it's best we are wrapping up now. And also everyone who's watching or listening this podcast, you can also watch the video on the YouTube podcast if you want to see the faces talking to you guys. Just to wrap up. So thanks, Nasri, and I say bye-bye for now.
Thank you very much.
So everyone who was watching this live from the beginning, just let me introduce you one more time. I've spoken with Thomas Lepretre from the JEC Group, who's the show director, Gunnar Merz of Composites United, Volker Mathes of AVK. David Bailey was here from the UK, Composites UK, and we had Raphael Pleynet from the European Composites Association. That was our first round. And if you want to watch what they have to say about the sentiment on the markets in the composites industry, watch this LinkedIn Live now in replay soon after I've stopped this LinkedIn Live. And you can also, as I said, watch it anytime you want and in chunks you want it, because it's a long LinkedIn Live. It would make sense if you come back regularly to this. Otherwise, on the exhibitor and expert side, I had Alex Wiesner here in the show from Langzauner GmbH. They will be celebrating at JEC their 100 years of existence. Then Alan Harper, who is totally dedicated and committed of reducing the waste in composite production. Very much so. I like that idea. Christoph Schneeberger from Antifil is really disrupting the way how thermoplastics are used on fibers. So visit their booth also at JEC. Stefan Fleischmann is a polymer expert. If you need some training Kunststoffe, we say in Germany, or polymers, and also he's knowledgeable about composites. Just contact Stefan and get some training. Yeah, if you are not yet a specialist. And then Nasri, he's a business development expert in the Middle East region. So we've spoken to them. And now I will take one more final time my co-founder of Composites launch. So Oliver, what do you think? How was the information level? Was it sufficient to warm up JEC World in the first round?
There was a lot of positive feedback from the participant. It was very international, from Asia, Arabia, South America to Europe. From my opinion, it was really a great LinkedIn Live event as a warm-up for the JEC Paris. We heard a lot of very interesting information about the latest trends and what can be expected at the JEC 2024. I have heard that it's the largest JEC we had ever, and it shows that the composite industry is going very well and moving forward. And I have also a very, very important message. Take advantage of the great opportunities at the JEC 2024. Come to our exhibition, come to our booth, and you will receive all the news that will help you in the future to develop new products from composite. And the last message, if you would like to have a draft beer, then you have to come after 4 to our booth, Hall 6, CGTech, View 57, and you get also popcorn with draft beer at our booth. I think it's a good message.
That's a great message, yes. So I would like to take the opportunity to also thank Barış Deniz Keser from ERCO Turkey. He was joining us in the community, and I'm mentioning this late because somehow our StreamYard system didn't show up all the comments. So if we have missed the one or the other comment, it's not because we were ignoring you guys, it's just that the system doesn't show them up. Then we have Mark Nimmer Likos. He said, from the recent Japan crash, do we expect composite in aircrafts to evolve in the next coming years? That's a very great question that I'm seeing right now. We could have asked this question to David Bailey, who is an aircraft specialist. So we will answer this after this show. Then what else do we have? We have Stefan, and we've answered all of this stuff. Roy Turov was there. Andrzej Chulak was there. Bismil Rapeta was there. So thank you so much for everyone who was joining our LinkedIn Live here. Just our own agenda here on Composites Launch. So Composites Launch is a group here on LinkedIn that is networking on innovation, technology, and sustainable matters roundabout composites, and it's the total value chain of composites. So please join our group here on LinkedIn. It's free. You have an elite group of decision makers, of buyers, of end users in this group. It's a little gated, the community, so you should really have an interest in composites and be out of the industry or be an end user or a supplier to this industry. And we keep it clean, so that we are really like-minded people. And we are supporting the composites associations. We are supporting the composites media outlets, the composite exhibitors, the composite experts. So if you want to have certain visibility and reach on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is our main channel for this, please contact us so we can make a plan how to get you on reach. In average, our LinkedIn Lives are viewed by 20,000 people. In average, a JEC coverage, the 3 days, is about 100,000 eyeballs on your content. So it makes sense to get you on LinkedIn in one of our shows. Please contact me. Now, JEC World, the onboarding is completed. We have a lot of partners for JEC, and we are working with them. The next round will be on the 16th, and the other round, the third round, will be then from the show floor from JEC Paris. But we have JEC Forum Dach in Stuttgart. We have JEC Forum Italy coming up. We have other shows coming up because we will be also holding panels at end user exhibitions. Like, for example, we will hold a panel at ILA, the International Luft- und Raumfahrt Association, or exhibition in Berlin, which is in June. That panel is already full, but if you are there, by all means, let's do an interview and we can work on that. But other than that, we will be available in the wind industry, in the transportation industry, like in InnoTrans, and we are also supporting in-house exhibitions, in-house events that you may have. If you want them to be visible on LinkedIn, also approach us and we will be happy to chat with you how we will realize your participation numbers, increase them, and get the word spread out. This is all under the umbrella of our mission and vision that we want to become the go-to channel on LinkedIn for composites and the whole composites supply chain, because we believe composites is a green technology and it's a very sustainable technology. It is full of innovation and full of technology, as you've heard today. And anyone going to JEC World, have a safe trip and have very inspiring talks. That's from my side. Thank you so much. Oliver, you have the last word.
Thank you so much. It was really a great event, and we have heard a lot of news about the composite industries. And I hope you see, I can see you all at the exhibition. Come not only to our booth, also to the booth from from all the guys who make some informations to this audience, and see you at the show.
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.